you said, oh, that's totally possible. I'm like, real, it's just about having somebody hear you, having somebody hold that space for your dream, and yeah.
And you did it.
I know. And I mean, I feel like I have the foundation, and whatever else I build as I get ready, and that I have to push myself because because I have some fear issues. No, that's not the way to say that. But as I get ready to grow the business, then the foundation is there. The modules are there. The support, the Facebook group is there, and I know how to get in touch with you and Jonathan, and and there's other people in the group that I feel like I can reach out to also. So.
Yep.
I love that there's so many Brennan people there, but it's not just Brennan people, and I feel like it could work for. Well, I mean, I've seen it work for all kinds of forms of healing.
All right. Hey, Jackie, thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit about your story today with all of those who are listening, who might be healers or, have some inclination to do that as their work in the world, and perhaps hearing your story and how you've built your practice will be, I imagine, incredibly inspiring. So thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Julie, for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, and so just to tell everybody a little bit about Jackie. Jackie is a professional energy healer based in Atlanta, Georgia. She's also a registered nurse, right? That's part
correct.
Of your background. She works with groups, she works privately and one-on-one, and she specifically works with women in recovery from alcoholism. And so really specific work and powerful work and needed work, and so powerful. Jackie's also a graduate of the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. She's going to share a little bit more about how she got here today in our time together. Okay, so let's dive in. So before you joined Thriving Healers, tell me a little bit about where you were at and what was frustrating you in terms of like finding clients, growing your practice. What was going on?
Well, I had no clue where to start. So when I came into Thriving Healers, I don't have a business background. In the medical profession, my patients come to me,
right?
So I didn't have to look for them. So I was really, I was lost about how to find my clients, how to any part of the business was just I was clueless about it.
Uh-huh. Were you frustrated? Were you or it's just completely an unknown, or?
Well, I didn't even know where to begin, I think is the best way to say that.
Yeah. I totally understand. That is a common place to be.
Yeah. So I had this beautiful training. I had a great idea. I was like, I don't know what to do next.
Okay. So had you tried anything before Thriving Healers?
So a little bit of word of mouth, and I had done healings, but very informal. I just didn't know how to I didn't know how to create that bridge to begin a business. Yeah, create my dream.
It's awesome. Yeah, your dream. I love that. So what was the moment or the decision-making factors that brought you to Thriving Healers? What was it about the program or that process that it's that resonated for you when you decided to join?
So I'll back up a little bit. I had a classmate who told me when she started Thriving Healers, and that was right after we finished school, or shortly after we graduated, and she was ready. She was ready just to dive right in, and I was ready for a rest. And but we kept in touch. And as I saw what was happening in her business, as she created a business, I really was very interested. And then maybe a year later, as I thought, well, I want to at least look into this and see if having a healing business is where I want to go with this training. And did your 7-step roadmap to your free class.
Yep, our 7-step roadmap.
And knowing what happened in my classmates' business and hearing the potential, and even during that first class, there were some major shifts right there. It's like, oh, well, just because I don't know this doesn't mean I'm not worthy of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you and I had the clarifying call,
mm-hmm.
and as we talked, and I told you my ideas and my dream and my fears, and you just said, well, we're right here to walk through this with you. We will teach you how to do this step by step. And that's exactly what happened, and when I realized that my dream was a possibility and not just a dream, that I could make it a reality. It's like, I have to try this.
Yeah. And I remember it was scary to take the leap.
So taking the leap was, when I was on the call with you, was great. Like, I was so excited. And then I think as soon as we hung up, it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What have I done? So I went into panic mode, but you followed through. I mean, it's you've been right there step by step and taught me how to do this business. So it's incredible.
So cool. So fun to be with you step by step.
I needed step by step, but but you've made it simple and one of the things, I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but one of the things I really loved about this program is the focus on take these steps and celebrate that rather than focus on the results of the steps. Mm-hmm. Focus on and celebrate what you are genuinely doing, and it creates the momentum and the results that you want. Maybe not immediately,
mm-hmm.
but there's celebration in just taking those steps, and that's been a valuable lesson.
Yeah, for me too. So we teach what we need to learn.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are some of the things? You said the step-by-step really helped you, and that one shift you just talked about around celebrating the steps. What are some of the shifts that you got from Thriving Healers? Anything else that comes to mind that you really shifted things for you?
Yeah, one of the major shifts has been, and this was in the first class, was the shift from focusing on being unworthy, change that focus to the willingness
mm-hmm.
to take the action, and that's been a huge shift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I use that often. Like, I think what happens for me is when I'm scared, maybe I feel, and I don't know what to do, I feel unworthy.
Right. And
it's like, okay, but am I willing to take the action? Am I willing? Am I willing? Am I willing? And, the answer is yeah. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
let's do this. So that's been monumental.
Yeah, I would say out of all of our clients, you perhaps model this the most, which is like having the fear arise and then working through it and taking the step. Yeah. Which we all have the fear arise, but you consistently, time and time again, move through it.
But I had great support. I brought that fear, and, the group, what's this? I don't know what this is. Let me just cancel it. Okay, sorry. I had a little pop up.
No worries.
So that was one of that has been a major benefit for me. The fear comes up, and I name the fear, and you listen, and we walk through that. Okay, what do you need? It's the whole thing. Am I unworthy? Am I unable? No. Do I not know what to do? Sometimes not. And we'll try this. If that doesn't work, we can come back. So, it's been having somebody walk through the fear with me.
Yeah, so helpful.
So helpful. Yeah.
We don't have to do it all alone.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's been, for me, as you know, it's been every step.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I what if I can't find a place? Well, we'll try this and this and this and this, or actually, what are some of your ideas? What are some of your options? And it's been great. It's been
awesome. Are there specific problems that you had before that have been resolved through the work you did in Thriving Healers that are just not problems anymore?
I think I think what you're asking me is about, like finding, where do I look for clients? How do I market? How do I actually make a living in a way that I'm not totally burnt out to do, how do I do this? And there's module after module, and then physical support through the calls and guidance to do those things. And, I'm not, that's not exactly what I'm doing now, but I do have a small business, a very successful small business with the potential to grow as I have the, as I'm ready to grow it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe something for people to know, and this is totally another way to do this, is that you still do some of your nursing work, and this is something you're building it on the side, and it's growing, and so you can balance the two.
That's correct. That's right. And I it has to work for me, for me to be able to step in and be an authentic and powerful healer.
Yeah. You're creating it the way you want it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. What's different now? Like, what are the actual results in your work that's different than the way you were working before, and what's happening in your business now? What does it look like?
Well, first of all, it exists. It went from something in my mind, a dream, an idea, to an actuality, which is so cool to experience, for one. No, ask me that question again.
What does your business look like now? Like, what are the results that you've created for yourself? And, hearing it exists now, it was just an idea, which is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you working with people now?
So I have a healing group that meets twice a month, and then I also work with clients one-on-one. So I have two options, and actually they merge together beautifully. So working in the group, the healing group, doing the group work, and then the individual work is very powerful. Yeah, I mean, it works so well together.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, would you if someone was watching this and they
Yes.
were maybe considering growing a healing practice or taking it to the next level, would you recommend Thriving Healers as a support for that, and why?
I sure would. I would. Well, in Thriving Healers, the modules are set up step by step, and it's important to, there's been space and emphasis, and it's important to create the healing practice that actually supports the healer as well. Like, not just, I don't mean just financially, but I mean emotionally, physically, and Thriving Healers is like just put me right in the middle of all of that.
Mm, very
I
cool.
absolutely recommend it. In fact, I have recommended it to at least one other classmate, maybe more, and have another very close friend who wants to create a business. It's not necessarily a healing business, but I'm like, wow, this model would be so good. So yeah, absolutely. For people who, or even people who do have business backgrounds, um, yes, I absolutely recommend it.
Thank you, and thank you for sending people our way.
Yeah, yeah, I'll continue to.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. We love that.
Oh yeah.
Um, what is the thing you're most proud of in your work that maybe Thriving Healers supported you with?
Um, so as I listened to the women the past couple of weeks as we met, the depth of the work that group, that this group is supporting them to do, um, was I was so touched, and I was so amazed. I mean, I felt very humble about that, to watch the healing going on in their lives, each one of them in a very different way. And if we weren't doing that group, would they be doing that work? Well, here's what I do know is that this group that I've created, because I've done Thriving Heal, I've gone through this program. So it's like a continuation. I've been supported, so this group can be created so that these women can do their deep healing and take that out into the world and serve others as well. So I think that is, I don't know if proud is the word, but I feel quite moved by that.
Yeah, I get the goosebumps when you say that. What's happening in your work as you're supported and doing it, and how that ripples out.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah. I mean, in a very visible and a deep way.
Yeah. I mean, I know you said before you were working kind of sporadically with clients, but have you noticed a shift in the results your clients get now that you're doing work in the way that you are in these groups?
Ooh, yeah.
You can
I mean,
see it.
and I don't know that I could even give a better example than I just did, but it's consistent. And I guess I haven't said this, but one of the things that that Thriving Healers teaches and encourages is, number one, my commitment to the work, because that's what creates the change, and then finding clients who are committed as well, which just makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Totally. Commitment. That's one of our sayings, right? Client commitment is the number one indicator of client results.
That's right. That's it.
But that's usually an idea that we start with. And what's so cool is that that's now your experience, not just an idea.
It is my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Is there anything else you would want to share about your journey or about that you would want,
Well, I just happen to have some notes. Let me just look over these real
Okay,
quick.
cool.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe I've said this too, but I have the modules to continue to go back with, and each time I go into one, I deepen into the learning in that to bring that out into my healing business. So, and I feel like between the calls, our individual work together, and the modules, it's just created a foundation to continue to grow this business. And then the personal growth in it too, the challenges and the growth have been really good.
Yeah. So lots of personal transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facing my cause in that, even though I have the fear, that doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means, as we say, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
It's one of the acronyms for it. So.
You have tremendous courage. It's one of your core qualities that I see so much. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I just feel like definitely so touched by the way you show up, the way you've taken the steps, right, with all the courage and what you've created and how it's rippling out. I just feel totally touched by that, inspired by it, and it lights me up.
Thank you, Julie. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us today.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.